It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission really is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Joel. He's in the house, and he'll be talking about something interesting: stress, success, and bio-gut. I think I got that right. Biome gut, which I have no idea what that is, but we'll figure out what's going on. Joel, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much for being here, man. We appreciate it. Before we get started, because we're going to talk about why people even stress these days, because they shouldn't be stressed. When they look there and they see Biome gut, I'm probably the only one. You know, I went to DC public schools. Don't judge me, by the way. I went to Morgan State, and I'm figuring out, what is this? So what is Biome gut? Can you take a moment to slow down for some of us and describe what is it and why is it so important for us today?
Yeah, so it's two words. It's gut biome, and biome is the balance of good bacteria that's in your gastrointestinal tract. So every single person is supposed to have approximately 80% good bacteria or good gut biome that's friendly. It gives us energy. It helps our immune system. I believe, like the pinnacle of good health. And then you're also supposed to have about 20% unfriendly gut biome. That will be maybe parasites, different types of fungus, candy. So it's supposed to be a balance there. If that balance is off, then that's what affects so many different functions or so many different systems. They start to act up, especially whatever the weak system is. We have 12 body systems, and whatever it is, it could be the cardiovascular system, the immune or lymphatic system. But the gut biome, if it's off, it's going to go after that weak system. So to answer again what gut biome is, it's literally bacteria. We have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria, and there's supposed to be a balance there.
Now, I'm going to ask a crazy question. I'm probably the only one that has this question, by the way, that's leaning in. And that was great. Is this something an exam? I don't think I've ever had an exam for this, by the way, in my life. Is this something that should be done as part of our regular exam? I mean, I have my AARP card. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm the only one out there, okay? But I have my AARP card these days. So I've reached that over 55 group. Are we supposed to get this exam? Is this something we're supposed to ask for? Is it only for guys? Is it for men and women? Again, I'm probably the only one before we get started that has these questions. So I'm curious.
That's a good question. Yeah. So everyone has a gut biome, whether you're an infant or a senior. It does change depending on your age, and there are tests that you can get even at LabCorp. Right now, I will say that you have to be more proactive. It's not something that your doctor is going to throw in a series of if you want to get a checkup in your blood test. But if you go to a LabCorp, you even go to labcorp.com or and I'm not promoting any type of laboratory, but any laboratory, you can go there and you'll see different tests where they'll test your gut biome. You can even type it in Google. There's a lot of different companies that will do a gut biome test, but you have to be more proactive with it.
Now, you own, and they'll read your bio. We'll get into your background in a moment. And I know you own 2 wellness centers. And folks, I have a question. In today's time where we are, why are folks still struggling with health and wellness? I'll say before we even get to stress, because I think that's a different thing, mental wellness, but with just health and being healthy. With everything we have with Instagram going on, we got AI, by the way. AI will tell you exactly what to eat, when to eat, how you should eat it, I guess. And yet people are still struggling these days. Why do you think that folks are struggling these days just to have a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Very, very loaded. I know it's unfair. I'm just curious what your opinion is.
So I'm going to The biggest thing that I will say is that the food is different. The soil is different. Um, Mass production. There was a time where you can go to a local place and to your farm and pick up things, but everything now, you have these Costco's, you got big trucking companies, and they're just shipping stuff. And so what's happening is the food isn't the quality, and now they have to preserve this food that they're shipping all over the place. So they have to put different types of coating on it to protect it, to make sure it lasts longer. So it's the food. It's the food we eat. Even if you go to a fine dining restaurant, it's the quality of the food. It's not the same as it used to be. So that's why we deal with it. And a lot of people focus on the food. Now, that being said, my focus here, and it has always been, is I don't focus on the food. I focus on the system that the food goes into. I believe you can't control food now, but you can control the system. So, I'm sure you talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, and they talk about the importance of their business and having a system that they work in, and that will help different employees or whoever is a part of the team to function at a high level at your business. The same thing with the body. You got to focus on the system. So what happens when you eat food? Food is dirty. It's always been dirty. But does it go into a system that is able to break it down? Does the liver do what it's supposed to do as a filter? Does the kidneys break down the fluid you're drinking? How is the system? And so that's what we focus on. So I guess that's a question and an answer.
No, it is. It's spot on, and it leads folks as we're watching. They're saying, "Shay, I didn't get a chance to read his bio. Okay, I didn't get a chance to go Google this guy. I like what I'm hearing, but I don't even know his backstory. Like, I have no idea what his backstory is. So if you could take a moment, if you will, maybe take a minute or two, and just slow down, and we'll speed up in a second, and take us back and what's a little bit about your background, your backstory. You know how that is, and then what was that defining moment that led you to say, you know what, I want to do this. Like, I'm all in to solving this problem in the world."
Gotcha. So it started with my father and my mother. They were health advocates, especially my father. When I was young, he was always into herbs and homeopathy, and he finally went to school for it. He got his doctorate in naturopathy before it was even popular. To have your doctorate in naturopathy is pretty popular right now, but when he was doing it, it wasn't. And I was in the room with him as a child, seeing him study. I helped him build, not build, but I helped him or watched him build his business. I was packing boxes. Then he opened up a wellness center, and I worked at the wellness center. I'm the youngest of five kids, and I'm the one that just really took to it. So I started just at the bottom selling, juicers, and this is in the late 80s, early 90s. I'm selling juicers and water distillers, and he has about 1,500 square feet of office, and so that's what got me into it. Um, he sent me to school. I went to California. I trained under some of the best naturopathic practitioners. He didn't, he spent a lot of time on my education and money as well. And then I did the somewhat prodigal son thing. I stepped away because I had a love for food, and I went to culinary school. And I started, working in fine dining restaurants, but I was just I wasn't in the proper. I knew I just wasn't walking in my calling at that time, and I left a very high paying job at the restaurant to get back and to start building my wellness business. And it was a journey, but that was about 10 years ago, and now we're growing, which is excellent.
Wow, thanks for sharing, man. That's pretty impressive. And before we get into steps people can do, again, another loaded question. Ladies and gentlemen, I get to ask any question. They didn't say I had to. They didn't give me a list. So this is I like this even better. By the way, it's like you and I. It's like you guys get to eavesdrop on our conversation. And again, this is just a philosophical question. Does vitamins are there ways is there preventive ways? I'll say that if they're not taking the right food, eating the right food. Does vitamins or supplements, is that something that you believe in or don't believe in that can kind of aid? Because maybe, Jay Brown's sitting here thinking, wow, I can hardly eat anything at the grocery store, so I might not be getting everything I need. Are there vitamins and supplements and so forth that sometimes you support that can help us on this journey to maintain our health or stay healthy? I guess that's the question. Are vitamins and supplements even helpful these days?
Yeah, yeah. That's another good question. I'm gonna shock you with my answer. Um, I believe with health, less is more. I was a person that was well versed in different types of supplements, vitamins, minerals, amino acids, Ayurvedic medicine, homeopathy, everything. But I have found that again, less is more. I deal more with getting the gut in a proper place, getting some balance there. I focus on pH balance as well. And then I believe at that point in time, you should be able to get your nutrients from your food. Even though the food isn't the quality it used to be, you're still going to get vitamin C from your oranges. You're still going to get, minerals from your green leafy vegetables. But I want to make sure that when it enters into your system, that your small intestines is breaking it down so that you can utilize those minerals. Now, if you're not eating well, if you have a lifestyle of smoking and drinking, then I do believe that vitamins are necessary. But it's not my go-to. Again, I go back to, I want to get the system in order so that when we do eat foods, we get what's in it out of it. So a protein, a carbohydrate, or a fat, we're able to get it out and utilize it throughout the body.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're having this conversation, because you hear the notion out there all the time that your health is your wealth, right? Your health is your wealth. And you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, you're in trouble, right? You don't have the energy, you don't have the vitality, you can't do the things you want to do. Yet the question, and this might be the $64,000 question, as they say, is, wow, in this short conversation, we're going to tell people how they can connect with you in your office. Maybe what are one or two or three things that someone could do, I'll say that, to get on the journey of being healthy and living, I guess, being healthy, I'll say that. And the reason I say that in about 30 seconds here, and I want you, just so you know a little bit about our audience, there's some folks out there that are listening saying, Shay, I need him to know I got a lot going on. Okay. I work a full-time job. I want him to know that. I'm a full-time wife or a full-time husband, or I'm in a relationship. Oh, by the way, can you let Joel know that I take care of the kids, by the way? Wait a minute. I'm also a caregiver. I don't know if he knows that. So I've got a lot going on. Oh, by the way, let him know I'm involved in the community. So I've got all this going on. So if it's going to be this complex thing, what would you recommend to someone like me that I can at least get on the right path and stay on the right path? Again, a loaded question, but what's maybe step one, step two, or step three that you would advise to someone and to make sure they're on the path of being healthy?
The first step is always removal, um, detox. That's always going to be the first step to any type of healing journey. Um, there's a lot going on with people even working two, three different jobs. You talked about having a job and then being an entrepreneur and trying to build a business. That's a lot of stress. And what happens with stress is no matter what type of stress it is, if it once it enters in or travels through the central nervous system, it then affects the gut, and that's what affects the gut biome. So the first thing I tell people to do, focus on the center of your body, focus on that gut. Do a detox, cleanse yourself out, do research on it. Don't just buy anything that you see on TikTok. Do some research, look at people's credentials, see if they're more so trying to sell a product or they're trying to sell a method or a process. That's what we do here. We sell a process, we sell a system. We don't sell products. They're just going to help us get to what a person needs. So that's the first thing. You have to focus on the gut. That's the most important part of the body. If the digestive system is not functioning, you cannot provide nutrition for all the other systems, including the central nervous system. After that, it then is discipline and really creating some type of routine with exercise and eating. has to happen. I mean, we try to avoid it, and sometimes we think that's why, we think it's in a pill. Take a capsule, take a vitamin, take any. No, you have to take time to start the process of eating the right way, even if it's just one day a week. Say, okay, I'm going to eat clean, meaning fresh fruits, vegetables, lean protein. That's it. But the gut, you got to start with removal first. After you remove, then you rebuild. And then at that point in time, it's maintenance. A lot of people are trying to rebuild over a body that is toxic. You got to get rid of the toxins, and then you can start rebuilding from there. So that that's really it. I mean, you got to start with the gut. That's the major thing.
One thing I like that you said over and over again, you didn't make it complicated. He said you got to start. He didn't say you had to be a certain weight. He didn't say you had to wait until you can cook a certain meal. He didn't say you have to wait till you go to a certain store. He's given us a few things you can do to at least get started. And it's not too late. I mean, I don't know what the situation is. I know there's a lot of medical conditions out there. I'm not making light of that, but I am making the point that you've got to get started. All of us. I'm speaking to myself as well. You know, there's an old saying that my mentor loves to say is, Shay, when is the best time to plant a tree? I'm always like, I don't know, 10 years ago. He says, when's the
Yeah.
next best time to plant a tree? I said, now. He said, well, that's right. Do whatever you're going to do it now. Very serious conversation. I mean, I laugh, I joke a lot over here, and Joel's pretty cool and smooth. He's just, giving it to you. But, heed those words. And I think it's very important. It leads us to a segment that we have here, Joel. I think that's important. It's called Today is My January 1st. And it's kind of perfect because people might be thinking, and I don't know, maybe your life has been perfect, by the way. So we'll figure that out in a minute. But the segment is called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks that are watching the show and you know what we're about to do, you can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you. Doesn't it feel good? And for all the new folks who are watching for the first time, welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show family. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra here. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past might be, or how bright and sunny that past might be, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for Joel on the other side is really two parts. Part one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? I'm curious. Just go through your mind. And number two, was there ever a time in your life where there was a challenge and there was a setback? If it wasn't, that's cool. But if it was, how did you bounce back from it, man?
Yeah, so when I hear the words today's my, January 1st, it's new beginnings. It's new beginnings. And like you said something powerful. We bring a lot of our past into the new, and that's not going to be helpful in any type of progress. When I have clients, they are almost ashamed to tell me that they're taking medication, or they're ashamed to tell me that they used to weigh this. Oh, I got a perfect one. Majority of clients that come to me, let's say to lose weight, they talk about how they lost weight 10 years ago. Well, the body's different now. So they're trying to bring their past into the new. So when I hear January 1st, new day, new beginnings, um, it's almost like you want to go through a process of being scanned, and a lot of those old memories and those things that used to work for you, you want to start new. You want to say, okay, this is dual. I may not know everything, but I'm going to learn. I'm going to study. I'm getting to know my body today. It's new. I'm not going to just be accept anything that anyone says, whether it's my doctor or someone on TikTok or social media or the Google doctor. I'm going to research. It's new for me. This is the new beginning. So that's what I always encourage my clients to take the steps to take control of their health. As far as what I have experienced just recently, my opening up my second location, there was times I remember at one point in time I was sitting in my office in this new beautiful office, and I'm like, what have I done? I want to go back to my single location in Delaware. Maybe I didn't hear God right on this one. I'm like really going through it, but that was the thing for me. For me personally, my spirituality was so important. Um, just remembering the promises that were given to me. I had to write them down. I wrote those down. I kept reading them. That the business will be successful. this is going to happen. This was a good move. This was your dream to be in Maryland. And that helped me get through. And I'm still in the process of building this second location. It's been tough. I thought it was going to be easier. It's been tough, but you have to be resilient. You have to push through and remember the promises, the things that you thought of when you got excited. The things I wrote on my bathroom wall of my vision 10 years ago of having a second location in Maryland. Those things came to mind during some really dark times when I questioned if I was doing the right thing.
Well, I'm glad you are, man. You're doing the right thing. You're making a difference for folks that are out there every single day, because without you, we obviously can't do what we do every single day, man. So thanks for what you do. We have a segment. Thanks for being authentic, by the way. Some people's lives are just perfect. And, so thanks for being so authentic. And I'm glad that you don't challenge it, because, I haven't read anywhere yet in all of my, I don't know, thousands of books we've read. Who knows how many books we both read these days, or how many videos we watch, right? But I haven't read anywhere yet when you beat yourself up, you do a better job. I just haven't read that. It might be out there. I haven't seen it yet. And so I'm glad you don't beat folks up, and you're able to encourage them. It leads me to a segment that I like to do when we have time, and we have some time now. And that segment is I get to ask a question. And one of my favorite questions to ask is, what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And I'll frame it for the audience. That you probably had so many mentors along this journey. You talked about your parents early on. You probably read countless books along this way, by the way. And so it's kind of not unfair, but it is unfair to say, reach out there and grab one, golden piece of advice you've been given. And you, the audience, you get to lean in now, because he's going to share something that he's held on to, a piece of advice that could help you live more, do more, be more, have more, give more. So it's pretty cool. So here's the question. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given, and why?
Good friend of mine, he he said this, and it still resonates. He said, Joel, you have to learn to utilize the space between stimulus and response. And that was important for me. And that's been important with business and making decisions. I get stimulated, and sometimes it's a good thing. It's exciting. It's a new connection. Or the new word today is collaboration. It's a new collaboration, and I'm
True.
excited. I'm jumping up and down. Oh man, I believe that this can take me to the next level. This is great. But then I'm learning to calm down, use that space between stimulus and how I respond. And sometimes I sit back and say, well, wait a minute, is this really beneficial? Let me look into this person that I'm collaborating with. Do we have the same thoughts and ideas as far as health and wellness and how things? So I've been using that in business as I form relationships. Before I just jump on and say, okay, everybody is doing this, so let me just do this, because it seems like, especially with marketing, I get a lot of phone calls every day. How you can take your business to the next level, utilize the space between stimulus and how you respond. The more space that's in there, the better, believe it or not.
So true. When you start talking about what you do, you really light up. I mean, you can hear it in your voice, you can hear the passion. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? You seem to be having a lot of fun.
Yeah, just the face, people's face after they come to one of our wellness centers. We do like it's one other thing, colon hydrotherapy. So they'll have a session, and then I'll give them. I make my own probiotic drinks. I'll give them a probiotic drink, and they just light up. They're just amazed at what just happened to their body, and they feel good. The energy there, that right there, is it for me. I love seeing people have a good experience. I love seeing people just motivated about starting to make changes. They start talking different before their appointment. Before their appointment, they're a little nervous. After the appointment, they're like, "I'm ready to go. I want to take care of my body." I love it. That's why I do it. I want to see people change, because I know if you change your health, then it begins affecting all of so many other things in your life, at home, with your business and work that you do. So that's my deal. Seeing people get better. I have a passion for it. I'm telling you, at nighttime, if I have a client that's not doing well or they're suffering, I I feel it. It hurts, and that's the gift that God has given me. It is a gift of compassion, and I think that that also is the part that helps people get success as well.
Yeah. What do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world then? Making people feel good, and making them be alive and giving them more vitality and energy. Like, what do you do for fun when you're not out working all the time?
Harassing my family about getting healthy. No, let me see. I play. I love basketball. I love swimming. I love watching football. I love my children, spending time with them. Um, my relationship with God is so important. I start my mornings off with that and go throughout the whole day. That's an intricate part of my days, and that's fun to me. Spending some. I wish I could do it all day long, but there's other parts of work that I have to do. But yeah, that's what I do for fun.
Oh man, that's cool, man. I'm so glad Sabrina kind of connected us together, man. This is really amazing. As we come down the home stretch, a two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your firm looking to work with these days? If you're open, it sounds like you might have some openings. And number two, how can folks best connect with you over and beyond this conversation we're having now? Is there a website? Where should they go? So two-part question. What type of clients you're looking for? And number two, how can folks best connect with you?
People who are just at that point where a lot of my clients are two things. A lot of them are entrepreneurs. They're people who are managing businesses. We carry a little bit more stress, and so I work with a lot of clients that own their own businesses, and they're just looking to really fortify their bodies. They want to be strong and they want to be resilient, and they understand that in the gut takes, if it's balanced, will give you some courage to make some big business moves. So that's a big part of my clientele. But anyone that is at that place where they've kind of exhausted a lot of different things for their health, and they're just looking for another way, another solution. They've tried vitamins and minerals, they've tried medication, and they're just kind of in this place that a lot of my clients that come here, they're at the last stop. It's like this is it. If this doesn't work, then and unfortunately, I would love to catch clients on the early end of it, but the type of work that we do here with colon hydrotherapy, it's not something that you jump and sign up for. It's normally you've kind of gone through some stuff with your health, and then you come in. Um, and then I'm sorry, can you please repeat the
And the
second
second part of
question?
the question was, how can folks best connect with you? Is there a website, a phone call? Like they're on their edge right now, and some folks are watching on demand. So they're watching like, okay, how can I connect with this guy?
Yeah, so probably the website would be best, and it has both. It has all our information. Um, I do service people in both of our locations, but I have a pretty strong practice online as well. So I have clients from basically all over the United States that we do work with. But it's www.healwell.com. So that's heal well. That's heal with two L's.
www.heal with two L's, well, by the way. Check it out, by the way. Let me say thanks so much, man, for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate it. I know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So you've given us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So we appreciate you here. Appreciate you showing up. And it's pretty cool when you hit the like button, but do me a favor, hit the share button on this one. I mean, this is one of the ones you should just hit the share button and pay this message forward to your community so they can also live well and be healthy as well. And I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that no matter what you're going through in your life, that you're amazing, that you really are special, you're unique, you're incredible. Doesn't matter if you're doing really, really well, there's another level to get to, or if you've been challenged right now. Here's what I know for sure. Today is your January 1st, and because of just that one reason, your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. My name is still Shay Brown. It ain't changed. The Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. We'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Peace. So long, Joe. Talk to you later, man. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.